So, Bassel, can you tell us what's up in Middle East today?
Yes, for sure, Bhargav. In the EMEA region, we had one assessed event and 21 other developments today. The prominent development was in Israel in a new terrorist attack by the Islamic State. On March 29, two Islamic State terrorists killed around 5 people in a village. Today, dozens of far-right protesters blocked streets in the Beni Brak city where the incident happened. They were protesting against the suspected terrorist attack. Additionally, the government bolstered its army and police presence in the sensitive area. It deployed over 15 companies of special forces troops in addition to 1,000 personnel. Also, there were arrests of 5 suspected Palestinian terrorists that were also in conjunction and in relation and connection with the Islamic State. So it seems the turmoil of the Islamic State and the caliphate of the Islamic State has spread to Israel. What do you think about it, Bhargav?
Bassel, it's quite interesting that this is happening now. Some time back, when Islamic State was raging through the Middle East, the conspiracy theory was that they were actually supported by the spy agencies of Israel. And now that is being demystified. Another myth which is being challenged is that Israel is invincible and Islamic State is afraid of that. Now, this, from what I read from this, is that Islamic State ideology is being co-opted by the Palestinian resistance movement so that they have some rallying calls, though they were largely socialists in the past. But in the modern times, Islamic State being the popular movement, it is not a surprise that the Palestinian leaders are co-opting it, at least the clandestine leaders. Would you agree, Bassel?
Yes, I would agree, Bhargav. And I would say that the resistance movement now is abiding by the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So that's why they are cooperating right now. And moving over to Africa, it seems there is a protest in South Africa, Sitati. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, Bassel, before I get to share briefly the details of today's planned protest, I have to mention first that we covered 6 developments in Africa today. And regarding today's protest, the Unemployed Social Workers Movement of South Africa has organized a planned, or rather has organized a protest march today in Pretoria city. And the protesters are expected to rally outside the Department of Social Work, which is housed at the HSRC building in Pretoria. And they will be marching across or along Madiba Street, the Sophie de Bruyn Street, the WF Nkomo Street, the Francis Baard Street, Bosman Street, and Pretoria's Street. And so thousands are likely to participate in today's protest, given that there are about 9,000 unemployed social workers in South Africa. And this has to be considered, today's protest rather has to be considered in the context of the recently published statistics by the government, indicating that the unemployment rate is about or around 35.3%, which is an increase from 34.9%. And further to this, the World Bank just recently released a report at the beginning of March this year, indicating that South Africa is the world's most unequal country. So certainly we can see how this is going to, or how it relates to the planned protest by the social workers. And that's all from Africa Today, Bassel. As I hand it back to you to cover Europe, there seems to be no end in sight regarding the violent protests in Seine-Saint-Denis. Could you brief us more regarding the violent protests in the department?
For sure, Sitati. In Europe today, we had 8 developments, and the assessed event was around the Seine-Saint-Denis department in France. So bus lines continue to be suspended in the department. They will continue to be suspended in the department today due to the ongoing clashes between security forces and protesters. Some of the affected bus lines include the 605, 607 until 637 in Sevran commune. So it all started on March 26th, the previous Saturday, when a police officer shot dead a resident of the area who was suspected that he stole a van in the area. So protests, as we know all, that the shooting incidents underlines a significant and a continuous series of violence by police officers across France. And as we all know, protests against police violence and impunity enjoy significant support across the country. So businesses are advised to actively monitor the updates on the operational routes, especially in the Île-de-France region. And this is all from the EMEA today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bassel and Sitati, for the coverage. That's it from us. It's a wrap for the day. You can reach out to us to know more about our bespoke membership services. Thank you.